Hello, everybody. Greetings from Melbourne, where I am currently staying for the Melbourne Cup Racing Carnival. This recording is a couple of days after the new moon we had on Friday, so let's get into it and get you going and see what's happening for the month of November, or certainly the month of Scorpio. So, November sees yet another powerful new moon accompanied by significant oppositions and some harmonious trines and sextiles. Not long after this full moon, Pluto moves into Aquarius, where he is going to fling his power around for the next 20 years. The energy is definitely shifting. Solar activity continues to impact the Earth enormously. And maybe it's time for you to consider buying an astrology chart, or an astrology calendar for next year. So let's get into some of the detail. So November the 1st, which was Friday here in Brisbane, Australia, or Melbourne, Australia, the new moon occurred at 9 degrees Scorpio. So check your location for the time. And this new moon brings both challenges and gifts. On the one hand, there are strong oppositions between Pluto and Mars, and also Uranus and Mercury. On the other, there are lovely trines and sextiles between the outer planets Uranus and Pluto and Neptune in water and earth signs. So let's look at oppositions and what they mean. The Pluto-Mars opposition is particularly strong, being in the last degree of Capricorn and Cancer, respectively. This degree is known as the anaretic degree and has a reputation for significant power. Not always nice, but power can be used for good or for not so good. For some, it's a degree of fate or karma. Any opposition of such powerful planets is expected to cause tension. And ideally, when there is such opposition, the challenge is to integrate the energies of both planets and find an agreement between the energies and an appreciation, a balance of the power of each planet. In this instance, both Mars and Pluto are the rulers of Scorpio, so it makes this new moon quite potent. So now Pluto is the top-down power, Mars is the individual power. So somehow or other, you need to broker an agreement, an understanding between how those powers are going to be used. And as for the Uranus opposition to Mercury in Scorpio, we can expect some unexpected and or surprise news, Mercury being the messenger and Uranus being surprise. Uranus is the planetary energy of new ideas. The oppositional energies are not to be integrated. The opposition and oppositional energies will not be integrated everywhere. So there will be experiences of power being imposed on a subject who resists the power and control energy. Observe your own experiences. An example is perhaps my own experience a few evenings ago. The traffic had been directed away from the normal route. I understand the main highway near me has been under construction for maybe 3 years, and it's a pain, it's an absolute pain. However, so there's constant changes. And it did not make sense to me that the detour that I was being directed to, and I found myself in the wrong place, being yelled at by a corpulent man in an orange suit, safety vest, and who swore at me. How dare anybody swear at me? Anyhow, so it was sensible not to respond to him in any way and just turn around and go the other way. Nevertheless, I wasn't happy, and it took me ages to find my way home when normally it would have taken around 10 minutes. So he was representing the Pluto. I mean, I really couldn't argue with him. And me, my power, I didn't like what was being imposed upon me. So see what happens in your life. What about the trines and the sextiles? These are harmonious energy connections. And with Neptune in Pisces, a water sign, the midpoint of a trine between Pluto and Uranus, the earth signs, there's a possibility of opening up to new Uranus spiritual Neptune beliefs. Pluto being the transformer. So transforming your spiritual beliefs, is that possible? Maybe. The larger trine in water signs between Mars in Cancer, Neptune in Pisces, and Mercury in Scorpio supports this possibility. You know, we've had spiritual beliefs of some sort for a long time, and energy around us has been shifting. Do we need to adjust our belief systems? This is a good time for you to ask yourself those questions. With the major religions no longer attracting the following they once had, there are folk who are seeking spiritual guidance. Many are turning to numerous new belief systems in their quest to find their path. And maybe that's you. Now, what about solar activity? I'm blown away by this amount of energy that's coming from the sun. And if you may be confused also about where the world is going, and you're not alone. Our planet is undergoing enormous change, as is our galaxy, and we are all bound to be affected by the physical energy of the Earth, because we are beings of the Earth. Are you aware that the sun is in solar maximum and for the last few months has been spewing out enormous amounts of energy, some of which is reaching our Earth? Do check out Stefan Burns on YouTube, and I'll put the reference down below. I don't always understand the astrophysics, but you get the gist if you listen to it often enough. I may already have mentioned the amazing aurora that have been visible from much closer to the equator than ever before. There is other energy which must impact Earth and us also, as we are creatures of the Earth. There are those who claim that we as humans are metamorphosing, changing like a caterpillar into butterfly. Is that possible? Can we do that? Perhaps we've got to wait and see. Now, what about good old Pluto? He's been part of our conversation for many months now. And he moves permanently into Aquarius on November the 20th, having been in Capricorn since 2008, and causing top-down power to be imposed on the population from many levels. You do remember the pandemic, don't you? You will do this, you will do that, you'll stay home. You're not going to go anywhere. Pluto has a 248-year cycle. Last time he moved into Aquarius, the power of the people, the French, decapitated their monarchy. Ooh. There was revolution in France and in America. I guess we could have a revolution in America again. Remember that we, the people, now have the power to comply or not, or to create our own future. What do you do? How are you working with your community to create people power at the grassroots level? Pluto is in Aquarius until 2044, another 20 years. In the meantime, we watch with interest the events of November the 5th in the US, as well as the Melbourne Cup. Isn't it ridiculous? The whole world, well, particularly in Australia, Australia stops for 3 minutes for a horse race? Really? Anyhow, how does Scorpio energy really work? Let's get back to some of the basics. Scorpio energy is traditionally associated with sex, death, and taxes. We all have Scorpios somewhere in our charts. These matters are dark and deeply hidden. Scorpio loves secrets. Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, likes to dig out the dirt and expose the truth. It's come to my attention that P. Diddy, I don't know him terribly well, who is in the mainstream news recently, has very strong Scorpio energy in his chart, being born on the 4th of November. It seems that he has been hiding some very dark secrets, very dark, dirty secrets, which, when and if they are exposed, will cause many people in positions of power and authority, or fame and reputation, to be named and shamed. Watch that space. It could be very disruptive and very disturbing. But you've got to clean out the dirt before you can build the new. The Scorpio energy is about empowerment, about change, about skills in crisis, about mastering yourself, and financial partnerships, soulmates, sexual partners, and avoiding power struggles. Where in your life are you seeking power? Are you prone to taking risks to gain power, perhaps with compulsive behavior, intense interactions, or living on the edge? Scorpio can be extremely well disciplined as he or she works to master themselves, choosing the high road of integrity rather than the easier and perhaps lazier alternative. Is there an area of your life where this occurs? Would you like to change it? Do you share investments or financial commitments of some sort with another, even with the bank? Is each contract clear and fair? Is there anything you need to change? It needs to be balanced, remember. Have you completed your tax return if you live here in Australia? It can be a real task, but this energy is great for you to locate the details you require and lodge that return. Get it out of the way. Even if you're not due a refund, at least that obligation will be discharged. It is necessary to intelligently assess that situation. Sometimes, if the power is over you, as in the tax department demands you pay, it's smart to pay up rather than engage in a tedious and potentially draining exchange, which you may or may not win. Pluto is one of the rulers of Scorpio. Pluto is about power. Is there any area of your life where there is power and power imbalance? This could be power over you, or are you exercising undue power over somebody else? How can you address that? Are you behaving with integrity and compassion? Is there anything you need to change? From a health perspective, Scorpio is associated with the organs of reproduction and elimination. If you have strong Scorpio energy, please be aware of your health in that aspect of your body. Often these conditions can be hidden and difficult to diagnose or treat. In terms of sex and intimacy, if your intimate partnership needs some improvement, maybe it's time to consult a sex therapist or simply allocate some special time with your partner for exploring your relationship at a deeper level. I was amused recently to chat to a lady who offers sex therapy, mostly to women, to help them better enjoy their sexual experience. As a senior lady with an unassuming demeanour, she appeared to be the most unlikely person one would consult for such matters. Anyway, I'll leave her connection details in the notes. And remember, it may not be about your partner. It might be about how you can understand, value, and improve your own sexual experiences, thus increasing enjoyment for both parties. Elimination and diet. Scorpio issues. If elimination is an issue, please consider your diet. Good amounts of fruits and vegetables can support good digestive processes and effective elimination. If you have frequent and uncomfortable visits to the toilet, perhaps you need to remove some items from your diet. In our Western world, the foods that most commonly cause digestive issues are wheat and dairy. Yes, it's a challenge, I know that. If you love cheese or your milkshakes and sticky buns. So what do you value more, feeling good or enjoying the taste of those delicious cakes and ice creams? If this is your issue, I suggest eliminating both wheat and dairy from your diet for at least 6 weeks and see how you go. I'm not a doctor, remember, just sharing from personal experience. After 6 weeks, try one type of food, say bread, in small quantities for a few days and observe the reactions of your body. Best advice is to consult a nutritionist. In my experience, nutritionists have better suggestions than dietitians who tend to be trained in the pharmacological model, which hasn't been serving our community all that well. And that might be unfair, but be your own judge of the situation. It is a challenge to eliminate wheat and dairy from our diets, as everywhere we go, we are offered wheat products in various forms, often stuffed with cream or milk-based fillings. There are many alternatives to wheat bread. There is spelt, a form of wheat, rye, combinations of grains such as quinoa and buckwheat, rice, and so on. Check out your health food store. I buy a rye loaf with seeds, and I have just 1 or 2 slices for breakfast. No cakes, unless marketed as gluten-free. But be aware, gluten-free is not the same as wheat-free. And often gluten-free can also have all sorts of other stuff in it that isn't good for your body. And as for dairy, I use almond or oat milk if necessary. Avoid cheese, although I love cheese. And I enjoy coconut yogurt. And there are various brands on the supermarket shelf. So choose something for yourself that you can accommodate. And remember, when your focus is to remain healthy and well, you choose to eat the right foods for your body. You feel better. It's just worth it. Now, how about an astrology calendar? My friend and amazing astrologer, Michelle Finey, creates an astrological calendar every year. I can recommend these calendars as great astrological guides. She includes fabulous photographs of Australian landscapes gathered from various resources. Check out her calendar offering, and I'll put the reference below at celestialinsight.com.au. Now I am about yoga for health, and I continue to conduct classes at the Detox Centre, where clients are managing the removal of drugs and alcohol from their daily routines. Lovely folk who've made unhelpful choices for themselves. Janine, who conducts the business, is always seeking ways to support her clients, and she's explored the use of iboga, a plant-based therapy available in Mexico. And over the last 2 years, she has taken clients there and has experienced some wonderful results for those who have issues with alcohol, PTSD, and depression, and so on. So if you know someone who may be interested in this therapy, please contact Janine. I'll put the reference below. A trip to Mexico is planned for December. So if you're interested, you better get in contact with Janine very quickly. She's only taking a few people. Places are limited. I think before I've mentioned yoga for happy hormones. And my plan for 2025 is to create a yoga course for those over 50. I'm calling it Yoga for Happy Hormones. The first few classes will be free, with options to sign up for the full introductory course. More advanced courses will follow in due course. If you have any ideas or feedback about this plan, please message me. I'm open to ideas. I really want to help folk to get healthy, get and stay healthy and well. Life is so much more fun when you're healthy and well. Now, I have a story for this newsletter, just a little story. My son and his family have a new fur baby called Stevie. I met her yesterday. She's gorgeous. She's a groodle. That's a combination of a poodle and a golden retriever. And she's settled in very well. You know, every family deserves a happy dog. We had several when my children were young. And I really have enjoyed meeting Stevie yesterday. Now, remember, as I finish off, that I have yoga classes on YouTube, Evelyn Douglas, for those who can't make it to a live class. And that's all for now. Enjoy these energies of Scorpio. Be prepared to change. Understand that sometimes, well, often you can't change what happens, but you can change yourself. Lots of love for now. Bye.